So I went and I play with the timing a bit more, moved some keyframes here and there. I already separated some keyframes from the original location. I think I got the arms to be a little bit better, and I got him to kind of react a bit better too. It's just a matter of playing with the timing and playing it back. And as I said, maybe taking a little break, coming back and looking at it again. And so now I want to just try to look at say my other possibilities. Of course, I can have exaggeration as a principle then, or anticipation. I already did a little bit of anticipation in it. Slowing and slower, I think I did some of that squash and stretch. So I think exaggeration and maybe the other one would be follow through that I could do a little bit of that. So again, I'm gonna try to see if I can do my some of my follow through that will help me with my animation, and that will help me with some exaggeration. I think I have exaggerated quite a bit already, but I'll try to see if I can improve more of that. So I'm gonna add some details to my some of the parts that are not animated yet. I try to see if I can start thinking of them in the same frames where the other ones are. Say, for example, the ears and the antenna have not been animated yet. And actually, let me see, double check the head, what the head is doing, because I haven't paid much attention to the head. So we're gonna say that he's slow, he's kind of sinking his head. So at this point, his ears can level up a little bit. Let me just do the ears only. So he's going, and then they are pushed back. Let me just turn on the head one more time to see where the next keyframe is. Right there. So at the moment they will be rotated backwards, and actually I think I can, let me look at the sequence just for a moment here. Yeah, I think the head can be exaggerated a little bit more. I think I'm gonna exaggerate the head there. That way I can really feel that they are. And I think the antenna would be a good moment to exaggerate there too. Let me try to get keyframes on the antenna. Antenna here is pushed back a tiny bit. Then really here is let me see, comes forward, he's stopping, and the antenna here starts being swung back. Ears also. And try to get them to be a bit more leveled. And the next frame, of course, here in this keyframe, all of them are rotated except for the head, of course. Turning it up, there you go. Back, same with this one. Back, and then we identify the next keyframe. The arms have gone down too, so I'm gonna try to see if I can get those not the head, but the ears. Just a bit more exaggeration there. And then I get the antenna also pushed forward. Of course here they're gonna stay like that for quite a bit. This antenna, I'm gonna make the antenna, add some details to the antenna a little bit later, but not yet. So let these guys stay like that until he, sorry, let me just identify the frame for the head here. Put a keyframe on them right there, and then when he goes up, ears will try to level again. I'm just clicking on the head so I can get the frames, so I'm not keyframing or any other place. Here they pretty much recover a little bit. And then here they are just in the same position. So let me just play back there. Seems that they're kind of be floaty here. I want them to be a little bit. I'm gonna copy the keyframe. I'm gonna paste it so they get recovered faster. So I'm gonna go and they just slightly go back. There we go. So they kind of recover with the head. And that moment when they come down here, that's the part that I wanted to play with a little bit more, because I'm gonna do with antenna first. So when the antenna comes down, I want it to hit, bounce once, come down one more time quickly, bounce again a little bit less, come down and hit, up one more time, and down one more time. So that when you see it, hopefully that will give us the little effect. So a little bit of slamming there. It's a little bit bounce. So that it feels a bit more, a little bit semi follow through. You can fine tune it. Right now it feels a bit bouncy, a bit floaty, and I think that's part of the effect on rotation for that antenna, that rotation in X. You can see somewhere. Is that the right antenna? Let's see. It doesn't seem to be. That's the root, the one that's selected right now. Not really. Let me just close here and grab it again. This is the game root. Just turn off this one here as antenna. Okay, so rotation in X. That's much like it. So you can see comes, swings back. I'm gonna try to make these guys not so soft but a bit sharper. So I'm gonna change their tangency to be straight. That way they kind of feel a bit bouncier, and I can exaggerate some of them a little bit, but all right. Couple extra things that I haven't done. One of them is the arms and the elbows. Those are kind of like, actually they don't even have keyframes in certain places, so I'm gonna try to see if I can build on them. So this one is going that way. I guess here it comes down, and I'm gonna let it go in a little bit. Actually, let me just find a keyframe when it lands here, put a keyframe on it, and then go to the next one here. I'm gonna put another one right there, and then I'm just gonna click on it here and let it swing inwards. Maybe help it with the elbow a tiny bit. See how that looks. So it comes down. That way that don't feel so rigid. Then I can go and make them, when he goes up, I can make the arm to be a little bit higher and his elbow to be a little bit more organic. So he goes up, and then he goes, when he rotates here, I'm gonna hold both arm and elbow a little bit there, put a keyframe, but rapidly I'm gonna make them, actually not there, I'll just move this keyframe a little bit earlier. Rapidly I'm gonna let them rotate up, kind of showing a little bit of a anticipation to the rotation. And here I'm gonna just let them be a bit higher here, so he's not so symmetrical. And this arm I'm gonna keep it left fold like that. So when he comes up, I don't like it how it goes back. I like it when I'm gonna delete this keyframe here. And the elbow, the one that I don't like, the shoulder, the one that I don't like, right there, so that his arm I'm gonna keep the position in number 135, but move it to 139 where the other one was before. So he goes and does this. So that breaks a little bit the other arm, because I'm not seeing it, I'm not spending too much time on it. But let me look at it from my camera where I'm thinking my viewer is going to see it, so maybe it makes a little bit more sense from this angle. I'm gonna let his arm stay behind, this arm stay behind. So it comes down. When he rotates this way, I'm gonna let that arm kind of stay better back a little bit. I'm gonna let his elbow, the elbow doesn't have more keyframes there. So, and actually the elbow has no keyframes at all in some places, but I'm gonna put keyframe on both, this one and that one, at least on the same spots, that, and that. So when he goes up, I'm gonna make this guy bend a little bit here. So just detailing, so that helps a little bit better. I think the antenna is a bit sharp, a bit too sharp. Although it makes sense, but I think I could do a little bit of the same with the ears, because they are a little too soft. And I'm gonna make his head lead when he rotates. What I mean by that is, let me start with that one first. when he gets up and then he rotates, I'm gonna make his head rotate first here, so he shows his intention of rotation to then let the body catch up. And the ears, let me try to find the ears there. Try to animate his ears, give a little bounce to the ears, maybe not as much as the antenna, but a little bit of bounce when they come down. So when the antenna comes down, and I'm probably going to smooth antenna a little bit. So these guys go, I'm just gonna, you know what, let me fix the antenna first. That will give me a guide. So the antenna goes, I'm gonna smooth it by just spacing it a little bit. I'm gonna just wanna move one keyframe of those bounces there, so that they, at least those, let me see if this one does it too. So I'm gonna see it, that's a little bit better. Was a little too sharp from the beginning. Just when you see it, something that is not right. So I'm gonna now based on this, I'm gonna try to animate my two ears, not as sharp again, but with a little bit of bounce there. So they're coming, slowly going, arriving to the maximum, go back up, slightly down, and then maybe one more time up and one more time down, very very gently. Again, it's not as much as the, let me see how that looks from here. Okay, one last little detail that I want to do is part of the exaggeration and stretching and squashing. I'd say, for example, I could grab, at least with this rig allow me to do it, I think. It is that when he is in this maximum position here, I'm gonna try to scale up his spine so he feels a bit more exaggerated. And when he's here, I'm gonna shrink it down so it shrinks, stretches, and then it goes back to normal. Just a little bit. You can play back and see how much exaggeration it shows. Other little details could be, for example, when he is skidding, this segment here, I can go and let him vibrate, not here, but actually in the last section here of his skidding. I'm gonna try to make from here, I'm gonna try to put little keyframes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those keyframes. And on my graph editor, my graph might translate in Y. I'm gonna just say he's going to skid, meaning I'm gonna get those little guys to go let's see if I can do it just a little bit up, this one is a little bit less. Let's change the visuals here so it's a bit easier to see it. And I barely need another keyframe. That one there. This one is going to be a little bit less. So it's very minimal, but I can exaggerate more. So I can grab these guys and push them down. not far, because then his wheel is going to go off the ground or below the ground there. And I'm going to make those the tangencies be linear, that way there is no, let's see if it's visible, it's a small little vibration that happens that kind of gives, you can see him kind of going up and down there. Alright, I'm going to increment and save my file. Of course you have to do this for the whole thing. I'm doing just one section, but and of course you want to go and spend, you know, a good number of hours doing your sequence. Key element is identifying your poses, blocking them, giving enough time for the character to pause and repeat poses, and then go. I just increment and save my file. Good luck with your animation. Hopefully you'll be able to work on yours, having some fun with it.